Ones and ones, it's your girl Siobhan Rufus on another episode of Behind the Music. And today we have a very special guest that goes by the name of Denver. Yes, you may have seen him around the block, around the circuit, playing his guitar, right? And also he's a singer and a producer, right? He has been in the music industry and songwriter. Yes, he has been in the industry for many years. Young, talented, handsome, for all the ladies looking for a single man. I believe he's single, right?
Yeah, man, naturally.
Welcome to the show, Denver, and I'm very happy to have you today.
Happy to be here. It's a nice place.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, man.
All right, who is Denver and what makes you different as a performer and as a musician?
All right, Denver is basically a person who is passionate about music, a person who is a lover of life, a person who is just very determined and very focused on becoming one of the greatest of all. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you know, that's how I live my life. I try to one up myself every time, every opportunity I get, every chance I get. I just try as best as possible to be better than the Denver before. You know?
Yeah.
In terms of what separates me musically, I think in this space is my ability to actually play an instrument, which is something that is somewhat of a rarity amongst artists,
Right.
Especially at a particular level. So what that does is that it adds a layer of an extra layer of performance quality to whatever exhibition that I choose to show the public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever show I put on, you know, I add an extra layer of performance to it by being able to play an instrument
Which is
and
very
add that
beautiful.
layer to, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing. The next thing is that I think I'm innovative. I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that my approach to music is a little bit different. It's eclectic. My songs tend to be the net sum of pretty much most of the things I've heard in life so far. You get me?
Yeah.
So that approach will lead to something that is more or less unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unique is what the industry needs, not what everyone else is doing. That's why it's so important to be our authentic self,
True.
unapologetically,
Come on, man.
right? So, do you think by innovative, explain to the viewers what you mean by innovative as it relates to the music industry, as it relates to you as a creative?
Innovative.
Yeah. Give us some examples of
in
how
some-
you've been innovative.
Examples. In some respects, just going against the grain. Maybe just like, combining, as I said before, like combining influences to create
Okay.
something that is like that one product that is unique and maybe undefined, but still Jamaican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
A melting pot of
yeah.
different
So like,
spices.
all right. So like some of my songs would be like, you might have something like hints of R&B, like an R&B textured dancehall song with a hint of reggae.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Nice.
So having these type of things, providing that aesthetic to the core music that we call our own or cultural music, I think is something that might lend to innovation.
Innovativeness. Yeah. Thanks much. And what sparked the passion for music and how did this journey start? Take us on the journey from the early stages of you discovering that, hey, I think I really dig this music thing. I think I really want to follow this passion for the rest of my life. Well,
Yeah.
you're young right now. Let's see what happens 10, 15 years from now.
Well, the main thing was I grew up in a home where my father constantly played music on the weekends. That's one thing. Like him usually, like he's a old police now,
Yeah.
retired police. But in the evenings, he used to come home, mostly on the weekends specifically. He used to come home and just start play records, like stacks of vinyl records, a lot of CDs and everything. So from that point, I was very much exposed to music.
Yeah.
And I guess to some extent or to some degree, I developed a love for the music. Of course, obviously, seeing things on television, music on television, things like calypso,
Yeah.
was a big thing back in like when I was much younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember one time to this lady, there was a lady who my parents' friends, we went to her house. Mr. Duaya wife, if I remember her correctly. She learned that I loved calypso from a young age.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And she said, like, I told her that my birthday was in January. And she was like, that was around the corner.
Yeah.
So we visited her around the Christmas time.
Oh, was this overseas or in Jamaica?
No, man, in Jamaica, man.
Jamaica, okay.
So they didn't know, they're the house. And she said, what, your birthday's coming up and this and that. And she buy a Walkman for me. And she buy 2 calypso like cassettes.
Yeah. So she fostered the light that the passion that she saw you had for.
Alright. So what happened now?
Okay.
So what happened now is that me just listen to the cassette them or whatever. My parents, obviously, them being the good parents that they were, they kind of like curated what I could listen to at the time, and then they say, alright, that one sound more appropriate for female age, and then give me the cassette and let me listen to the music and everything. But because calypso wasn't indigenous to our culture, I saw the need to take a more patriotic stance as it relates to my discovery of music.
Okay.
Or at least my appreciation of it. So I started to look for, like I say, I looked for records cassettes that my father had put down in the house. And that was when I found things like Rocksteady.
Yeah.
The Alton Ellis and the, I want to remember most is Alton Ellis, to be honest with you. You look at Alton Ellis and you find some reggae songs. Of course, Bob Marley was always a thing.
Yeah,
from
every household.
Yeah,
Jamaica
from the get-go,
abroad.
Bob Marley was always a thing. And that was really where things started to grow.
Yeah.
And as I said, I developed a patriotism for Jamaican culture and music from that stage, because I wanted to know that what we are presenting to the world was on par with anything good from other countries. So that was something that I developed at an early age, and that's where the passion, I think, started. It wasn't solidified, but it started there.
Okay.
In the sense that I wasn't thinking, I wanted to be this, I wasn't thinking career, obviously, at that time. I was very young.
You were just feeling around for things that you liked.
Right.
And it sparked your interest at the time.
Right.
And then from then it grew.
You're right. And it was fueled by just my love for Jamaica first, and then of course I looked for music that matched the whole thing. Like, for example, the next thing about music too, why I love it too much, 2 things: nostalgia and environment.
Yeah.
I found that when I was listening to music at a younger age, I usually conflate, or at least I tried to bridge the gap between the environment and how the music sound, and how that affected or influenced how I felt when listening to it.
Okay.
And of course that created, to some degree, a sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, that's true, because when I listen to certain music, it takes me back to a certain time. Yeah, that's true.
And so that now became a very important, if not the most important component of music, and maybe how I make music now as well.
And your connection with it as well.
I'm a connection.
Nostalgia,
very important.
Connection, yeah.
Right. So that's all of those things put together is what really fueled my passion for music.
And it's funny that as somebody that's young as yourself, that you mentioned patriotism and love for Jamaica. What I observe, correct me if I'm wrong, viewers, talk to me in the comment section. Let's have a chat. I recognize that a lot of young people want to be American artists. And what is so funny, the American artists and the international artists want to be us, to adapt our reggae sounds, our dancehall flavor, our Jamaican accent when they must sing certain songs. Yet we are not proud of what we have here. And it's commendable that you actually have love for Jamaican music, because pretty much everybody wants trap, dancehall, and I mean there's a place for it, but I feel like you must always remember your roots. Marcus Garvey said without knowledge of your roots, something another, you won't forget where you won't know where you're going, or something to that effect. Please, for those who know the quote, tell us what the quote is. Marcus Garvey quote.
But you know what thing though? You have to look on some things too. Like, I don't think, for example, there's nothing wrong in my opinion with let's say no. Alright. Let's think about how like the genres came to be.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that same thing that we are quarrel about regarding trap dancehall, we wouldn't get reggae now.
True.
How?
But I'm not saying to completely ignore it or whatever. I don't try to have a mix in your music, but completely forget about your authentic reggae sounds or authentic dancehall. I think to me something is wrong with that. But to mix them, you want creative, mix and match and whatever.
Because when you look on it like this, like Ska started from like rhythm and blues.
Yeah.
But it was an attempt to play rhythm and blues and they never get it right. And it's like it became a new genre because of that attempt. You understand?
Yeah.
So I mean we're not cause innovation, but I mean we just want to make sure so we keep it authentic.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. The authenticity that is in the trap dancehall is very much in the language of it.
Yeah.
You know, the how we express ourselves. Not to any great extent, they're not really rap. If you know what I mean, in American accent or nothing like that from what we hear so far. Or at least not to a great extent. But I think that lends to the innovation and make us see where it reach because I think it's still in a very young phase of it right now. Let's see where it goes.
Good point. Excellent points. Tell us what you think, guys. All right. So, what are some of your biggest challenges that you've experienced so far as a singer, as a musician, as a producer, just in general? What are the challenges that you've had from then till now? And what are you doing to overcome them? What have you done to overcome them currently?
Okay. As a musician, I would say, well, as a creative, let me just put it like that. As a creative, I think one of the main issues that I think myself and probably most other creatives face is just one of not having enough resources to manifest a specific vision.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Money.
We all need money.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, music is as Mikey Bennett would have said it, it's a capital intensive endeavor. It takes a lot of money in order to facilitate anything, any vision that you have within music.
That's true.
So resources are instruments are very expensive.
You have to pay for musicians' time.
You have to pay for people's time. You have to pay for God bless the people who I'm in good favor with the work for me for free sometimes and whatever with the barters and exchanges and so that's a thing.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, and if you really want to get a lot done in a short space of time, you have to have the right money, you have to have the right connections. So it's a process of actually. So in other words, one of the biggest struggles is that it takes money to make money as a musician and as an artist.
Yeah.
Musician, and here's the next thing: musician and artist are two different things. My opportunities as a musician and the opportunities as an artist and the struggle as a musician and the struggle as an artist might vary on the basis of what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. As a musician, my ability to generate income, I have a more diverse set of sources insofar as on a ground level to generate income because I'm using my skill to provide value to somebody else's platform.
Production or platform.
As the artist now, it becomes more difficult on that level, whereas you are using art. So as an artist, you are using your intellect, your experiences, your feelings, your point of view, your worldview, your all of these things in order to create a product that will provide an experience for people. And of course you monetize that experience. So that is you being the business that might need like other components, other persons, other parties to contribute to nourish that thing, that vision. So at the ground level it's hard for artists, sort of like launch without money.
Yeah,
or launch without some form of connections or something.
Unless they get lucky, they probably go somewhere to perform and like a big producer is there and say, okay, I like this girl or I like that boy.
Yeah, oftentimes it happens like that.
Yeah.
So the struggles are different, but the overarching issue is that a lot of us don't make money in the first season of our development as musicians and as artists. So that can be a big challenge. I remember when my parents used to cuss and say, so they might pay you? Yeah, I'm call for this level, I'm a pay.
Which
so
makes
like,
sense.
Yeah, which makes sense. But at the time, me can't demand any pay if me never create a demand for myself.
People don't know what you're about. You just coming on the scene.
All right.
How dare you want that?
But the funny thing about it is that they've acknowledged that you're skilled. They've acknowledged that you're great, brother. come play for me for free. Amazing. It's like, huh?
What?
You know?
Like,
You see me? So it's like, that's a thing.
but amazing, so why you can't pay me? Like,
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
pay
So
me.
that was always the question. It's like, yo, I mean, you know. So a lot of musicians, if I can recall correctly, had that struggle, including myself, initially, in the early stages of our career as musicians. You know, but as I say, as the artist now, capital intensive endeavor for find the money for really launch and for, as I said to what else you know to manifest that vision might be a little bit more difficult
Yeah.
because it is probably have the funding or the right connections to make it happen.
Alright, so what is Denver doing to overcome this challenge?
Work.
It's okay. So he's working and getting that money.
Yeah, as in,
Ching, ching.
at this point in time, I mean, I'm in a good position, whereas I'm being called very frequently to do work.
Thankfully.
And
Blessing,
God,
amen.
God bless me
It's
for
really
that.
a
And
blessing.
as a musician, I would say this as well. It's like, number one, you have to work on your skill as a musician in order to get calls. Rather, you have to work on your skill as a musician, but also, I think, people skills, discipline,
Yeah.
manners, all of these things are underestimated
Oh,
insofar
yes.
as getting in good with people.
Right.
I think one of the reasons why people like work with me is because I have good work ethics.
Yeah, I can testify to that.
Yeah.
Every rehearsal we have, Denver is always early. He actually knows the song. Yeah. So far, over the years, I never yet see nobody have no complaints about Denver. Yeah,
Right.
man. Book him for the events. Whether it be for a singing job or a guitarist, whatever it is. He's the man to go to.
Yeah, man. But that make a difference. You know, likability, personality is an expert. I've been around. I am working with and I've been around musicians who pretty much am blacklisted in a way. People don't want to work with them, and you know,
That's a bad place to be.
it's a very bad place to be. But they're skilled. They're very skilled.
Yeah.
Some of them, at least, I can't say who, but some of them are very skilled, very capable musicians. And when you bring the name up, people don't want to work with them. It's like I say, yo, but I love such and such a man for do something for. No, we're not working with him.
Yeah.
We have my problems with them and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Simply because them it's not a matter of not being skilled, it's a matter of just not doing what is necessary for as again to manifest or to nourish the vision of another person, the person who's employing you.
Right.
Yeah? So them something that make a huge difference insofar as your standing as a musician and how much work you get. You have to work on your people skills basically.
So, from what Denver is saying, which I agree and I endorse 1000%, discipline is important, your personality and your skills. A lot of persons out there, musicians, singers, whatever you are, dancer, entertainer, even outside of the music industry, people just feel like, oh, I can rely on my skill. I'm the best in the industry. I'm the best in this. And then at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, them always late for rehearsal or them always late for a meeting. They don't know the songs.
And in some cases unapologetically late.
Exactly, for no reason.
I've seen that too.
Right?
Yeah.
Personality is nasty. So there's just so many things that would be against you. Right? So I agree with Denver. So musicians who are listening out there, work on your people skills. Or whoever you are, whatever industry. People skills is always important.
Yeah, people skills and work ethic.
Right. Because who are going to employ you? People, you and me, other persons that know other persons, and bad news spread fast.
True.
Oh yes. Who are some of the musicians that are artists or singers that have impacted Denver on the journey, or who you'd say inspire you now for the sound that you have? And what would you describe your sound, by the way? You kind of dived into that a bit in terms of eclectic sound, but tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. Well, first of all, let's start with the influences. The major influences are very varied, very wide in a sense. Maybe not well, as wide as some catalogs I've seen from other people, but
Yeah.
all right. For example, being a guitarist, some of my influence would have been like Cat Core. People like Cat Core from Third World. Love how Cat Core play guitar, man. Like,
Yeah.
I get a lot of stuff from him in terms of skill, how I play. Ernest Ranglin as a musician. Then you have people like the overseas man them know, like the Jimi Hendrixes.
Good afternoon. We're not glad one day I find a nice pretty lady where we can sit down and talk and enjoy myself and see that I smile and thing and all. Now it's got to help one day, you know.
Guys, we're in a park.
People skills. You have to work with people skills.
I'm sure you just heard that a while ago.
Yeah. What did I say again? Oh, influences, right. So people like Cat Core, as a guitarist, as a musician, and of course by extension Third World Band.
Yeah.
Again, it was that was also fueled by the same patriotic feel. I wanted to know what high quality products Jamaica had to offer the world. And I come across Bob Marley, I come across Third World, I come across Dennis Brown. You come across all the greats.
Yeah.
So influences now internationally would be like, insofar as music instruments are concerned, guitar playing, you have Eric Clapton, you have Jimi Hendrix, you have, people like those.
I really
paid attention to people like those when it came on to like guitar stuff. In terms of artistry, Bob Marley at the top of the list.
Yeah.
At the top of the... Me wouldn't become a musician or an artist if I wasn't for Bob Marley. Me I tell you from now.
Wow.
Yeah, me used to binge watch Bob Marley music with them.
That's
just
wild.
Love. Yeah. Because for me, he represented that person, that guy, the pinnacle of what I wanted to see as a child. That guy who represented Jamaica patriotically and just have that quality of work behind him, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So Bob Marley is at the top of the list insofar as influences. And of course you have more modern influences, like you have every, like a lot of good artists nowadays, like you have the Drakes of the world. You have the Vibes Cartels of the world, and the main thing that kind of sort of like have me looking at them is really just how their work ethic really. Mm-hmm. They kind of show you what it takes to create that conversation, what it takes to be recognized and quite frankly admired.
Yeah.
And the level of effort that they put into their craft is really something where you have to respect.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all of them people.
Alright, so when Denver is not playing the guitar, or when he's not writing or producing a new track, or when he's not singing, what is Denver doing? What do you do for fun outside of music?
Oh, I'm pouring. A joke.
What? Guys, what did you say?
Outside of music, where does like mostly on the net. It's funny nowadays. What I tend to do a lot more frequently is like if I'm not doing anything regarding work, I'm sort of the things that are gonna help me for the work.
Oh,
it's kind of weird.
So
always kind of in our mood, and I was think about, all right, what the next move? What do I need to do? So I tend to watch a lot of like motivational clips on YouTube. I tend to watch a lot of, in my downtime, I tend to do a lot of things like like watch comedy clips and stuff like that. Just things to kind of keep my mind off of work.
Mm-hmm.
At the best of times, you might see me going on the beach. You might see me like just a simple thing like my idea of fun might be different from a lot of people. Me like go over in a them party in Kingston and just observe Blue Mountain, for example. You know what I mean? Them things just make me feel good. And just kind of dream about, all right, how am I going to solidify a structure here? How do I, so it's, I guess, well, I don't really have no vacation, though. I just have to think about work.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Balance?
It
What
relaxes
about
me.
balance? Do you think you're balanced since you're always thinking about work? Or it works for you? Because you have different things that work for other, different people.
I think I can be more balanced, but it's a luxury that I don't have now.
Oh, okay.
This is what I would call it.
Understood.
So, yeah, it's like what I want to accomplish, being very disciplined, being sort of like kind of like beating myself to get things done is absolutely necessary at this stage of my life. So I find myself with less opportunity for really kind of have fun, if you will.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's for a bigger payout in the future. So it's really, I don't do a lot, a lot of what I would like to. I put it that way.
But still savor the moments, Denver, because we can't predict what's gonna happen years from now.
True.
Or what kind of life. So I would say each journey of life, try to make the most of it.
True.
Even if is not necessarily what you want at the moment.
Mm.
You know, because when you get older, I said, John, I wish me to do this or me to do younger. Yeah. Don't be that man.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't be that girl.
If we did have all things together right now, right, I would be taking a lot of hikes.
Yeah.
But I'm going on the Blue Mountains to see where I go on there. So I'd be
lovely.
I've never done it. But I'd go over there go check where I go on. But I go, you know, it's a views man. I like to see the views.
I love nature too.
I love nature and something. So I'd be doing a lot of that. I'd be traveling, like with a drive throughout all the communities in the uptown. Yeah man, them something that make me feel good. You understand? Link up with my brethren more often, you know. Yeah, things like that.
Sounds good.
You know, link a 1 and 2 cat, you know.
Hear that?
You know it go.
Woo!
But just, you know, at this time now it's like, oh jeez, because I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of offers come to me and it's like my face said, judge. Not no, at the wrong time, no.
Yeah.
You know? Because I really kind of stay focused.
I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused.
One thing I realized is a lot of people, because of a lack of focus, them just miss the mark and them never achieve anything.
I'm going round and round in
circles.
Yeah, I don't want to go in circles ever.
Really and truly afraid of that.
And then years from now, we don't have nothing for sure.
Aye. You understand?
Fire burn that.
Straight.
Yeah, straight. If you are not doing music.
So my first time never flat, but you know.
You have the Rasta color.
Yeah, fire, you know.
If you were not doing music then, or you were not in the industry, what do you think you'd be doing if this was stripped from you tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself doing anything else?
Well, I love anything that has to do with nature.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when back in 60 days, I get like a 1 in a geography. Because I just love
landscape,
anything we have to do with the land, anything we have to do with the earth. Any study of the earth, I think, is something that I'd pay more attention to.
Yeah.
Had I not been doing this, but I mean, I have a choice. I mean, music not left me, I left music, you know.
Which is right.
Yeah.
Passion is a powerful thing. It fuels you, even when you feel like you want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
But come to that now. What inspires you to keep on going, even with challenges, even with disappointments, even when things don't work out how you want it to work out? What inspires Denver to say, all right, I'm gonna brush myself off and keep trying? What's your biggest motivation now, as an artist, as an entertainer?
Well, if I'm to be honest with you, hope is a big factor.
Hope.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a strong belief in the fact that I am very much capable, especially now, as a creative. I'm very much a capable person. I have confidence in what I can do. And because of that now, that confidence breeds hope on the basis of just, I guess this is the vision. The vision I'm gonna have create hope. I'm gonna have the competence to manifest whatever vision that is. So just keeping that vision in mind is what really kind of get me going.
Yeah. The vision.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey, I'm up next Marcus Garvey. But actually I have it right now. Yeah. Without confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life.
Yep.
I think that's right, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you have confidence and belief in self, that will really propel you forward.
But you know what's funny too? It's not about not being scared either.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what I could do, or what I need for to manifest whatever it is that I want to. I'm afraid to do it.
Yeah, if you're not scared, it makes sense. Me always say that. You can't think small. But let it go.
But even not gonna lie to you. Just forget them
No.
me go sing and all that. I'm afraid. But at the end of the day,
that means say a dream right, because your dream scare you.
Aye. So at the end of the day, you have to look on it and say, well, alright. I think one of the next motivations for me is that me attacking these fears turns me into somebody that I wasn't yesterday.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier,
progress, making you better.
Good. So make you better, turn it into a new you turn on a new machine, you know?
Yeah.
But just because you kept tapping up on yourself by virtue of conquering your fears.
Yeah.
So
which is powerful.
Exactly. So them something that help you for kind of like keep you motivated, because you are conquering the timid, or not necessarily timid, but you conquer the old you. right? And you push forward into what whatever the new you can offer. Not only you but the world. You know, so
which makes the difference.
Mhm.
Purpose, passion.
Yeah.
All right. So in the next 5 to 10 years, even though we don't know what the future holds, we still have to be hopeful about it. What do you see yourself, or how do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Hi, dog.
I'm better not before party that 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you see yourself, or what do you aim to achieve as a creative in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would love to be in the conversations of being one of the leading contributors to our culture insofar as music is concerned. I want to be one of the biggest proponents of Jamaican culture internationally. I don't know if it's too late, but definitely see myself along those lines, with the effort I'm going to put out within my craft and just with my skill set. I want to be within that conversation of making that difference insofar as our culture is concerned. So yeah, that's pretty much what we want for the next 5 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Or 10 years.
Yes.
5
And he's
years.
sounding so intelligent, right, guys? So I'm sure that for the years to come, we'll be even having more intelligent conversations and impactful conversations on the youth that are coming up and looking on. Speaking of youth, what are your advice? We're closing out now. What are your advice to other young artists and other musicians who are looking on and saying, okay, I wonder if I can be like a Denver? What would you advise them to do, even as they're coming up into this industry? The industry can be so mean sometimes, you know, and sometimes pushing talent that is not as great as somebody else's, pushing somebody because, oh, I'm a friend or whatever it is, and not playing fair. You have to be paying radio man or this jockey to play this, and all sorts of areas in the music industry you can say it's not fair. What would you say to younger persons who say, okay, regardless of the negatives, there are still a lot of positives? What would you tell them, or as guidance, or as a gem, or a form of motivation or affirmation, if you may?
Interesting. Because here's the challenge in that question. I may not have gone through all. You know, so I can only talk about my limited experience. And from what I've seen so far, I would say, I mean, we touched a lot of it earlier too.
Yeah.
When we talk about work ethic, when we talk about people's skills, when we talk about things like that, that's important, you know. Just maintaining, have manners, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come early for your shows. Timing is important in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Be on time. Why? Because it's about people's expenditure of resources. You have to respect that if it is that you're a part of them thing.
And they're paying